Hello, fifth graders. So today we're going to be continuing topic 7. So we've talked about how to find common denominators. We've talked about how to estimate fractions. We talked about how to simplify fractions. And now we're going to be using all that information to add fractions. Okay, so let's look at this very first problem. It says 1/2 plus 2/5. And again, I'm testing you a little bit. Can someone tell me why can we not add 1/2 plus 2/5? Why can we not add them as is? Well, the reason is because they do not have the same denominator. Okay, so we learned how to find common denominators, and the way that I want you to do this, just to make it easier for you, talk about that second way we learned, which is listing the multiples of each. So if I list the first 5 multiples of 2, and again, you can do that on a scrap piece of paper, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. If I list the first 5 multiples of 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. The lowest common multiple that they have is 10. So that is our common denominator. So our denominator is going to be 10. So 2 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gives you 10. Whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. So you get 5/10. And then 2/5, this 5 times 1, 2 gives you 10. So whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top, and you get 4/10. So now we can add. We're finally doing something with these common denominators. We are going to add them. So we get 5/10 plus 4/10, and we end up getting 9/10. And again, when we add with common denominators, guys, do not add the denominator. The denominator stays the same. You only add that numerator. Okay, so we end up getting 9/10 as our answer, not 9/20. And then a thing that should always come to your mind whenever you are doing this is to think, can it be simplified? And tell me, can 9/10 be simplified? No, it cannot, because the numerator is 1 less than the denominator, and that tells us it's in simplest form, so we don't have to fill out any of that. All right, so let's look at the next one, 1/2 plus 1/4. Again, to find the common denominator, you may not even need to do this. Okay, you may just already know, oh, it's blank. All right, but let's just list the multiples just to be certain. So the multiples of 2 are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. The multiples of 4 are 4, 8, 12. Do I have to keep going? No, because the lowest common multiple is 4. So 2 times 1, 2 gives you 4. Whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So you get 2/4. And then 4 times, and it kind of just stays the same, 1 gives you 1/4. So now we're going to add those together. We have 2/4 plus 1/4. Again, keep that denominator the same. It's fourths still. 2 plus 1 is 3. And again, we want to think, can it be simplified? This actually cannot be, because again, same as before. Okay? Because the numerator is 1 less than the denominator, meaning it's in simplest form. So this is kind of an example of those two problems we just went over. This is just showing you the common denominators. So if you look at this, this is one whole right here. We have 1/2, and then we have 2/5. And you can see that 2/5 is equal to 4/10, and 1/2 is equal to 5/10. You can see how those exactly match up. So that's how we got 5/10 plus 4/10. Because you can see those 4/10 match up perfectly and those 5/10 match up perfectly. And same thing with this. We can see this 1/2 lines up perfectly with 2/4. Okay, so that's how we got that 1/2 as 2/4. Okay, so this is just a visual of it, exactly what you're seeing. So if this is very mathematical, what we're doing over here. Okay, if you needed something visual to kind of understand why this works, this is what I want you to look at. Okay, because this 1/4 and this other 1/4 perfectly equal 1/2. So that's why 2/4 is equivalent to 1/2. So this very last one, It says, about 1/10 of the bones in your body are in your skull. Your hands have about 1/4 of the bones in your body. Write and solve an equation to find the fraction of the bones in your body that are in your hands or skull. Okay, so what we're doing is we are trying to figure out how much in total are in our body, in your hands or skull. So the equation that we could write, okay, and we're trying to find out because we're writing and solving an equation, the fraction of bones. So I'm going to say that B equals, okay, because the bones equal, and what are we doing? Are we adding, subtracting, multiplying those numbers? We are adding them. So we have B equals 1/10 plus 1/4. Okay, so first we need to find a common denominator because we cannot add these two fractions. So what you could do is you can list the multiples. And right now what I want you to do, list the multiples and find out what is the lowest common multiple of 10 and 4. Well, if you were to find the lowest common multiple, it would be 40. No, it wouldn't be 40, sorry. It would be 20. Okay, because we would have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And for 4, we would have 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. You can see 20 is the one they have in common. All right, so let's complete this. 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equals 20. Whatever you do to the bottom, do to the top. So we get 5/20. 1/10 is 1 times 2 to get 20. Whatever you do at the bottom, you do to the top. And you get 2/20. So we can add these together and get 5/20 plus 2/20. And 5 plus 2 is 7. 20 is the denominator, stays the same. It's 7/20. Now again, always in your mind, can it be simplified? And in this case, it cannot. There's no number that can go into both 7 and 20 evenly, all right? But let's reverse this really quick. Let's say we didn't get a common denominator of 20. Let's say instead you just did, 10 times 4, common denominator can be 40. And instead you did 4 times 10 to get 40, 10 times 4 to get 40, and whatever you do to the bottom, do to the top. Whatever you do to the bottom, do to the top. So you end up getting 10/40 plus 14/40. Not 14/40, 4/40, I'm sorry. So then, now you're adding these 10/40, 4/40, and you would end up getting 14/40 as your answer. And again, always popping in your mind, can it be simplified? And in this case, guys, since we chose a larger common denominator, it can be simplified. So this is a perfect example of why finding the lowest common denominator is helpful, because it reduces the chance of simplification at the end. Because in this case, it can be simplified because both of them are even numbers, meaning that it can be divided by 2. So 14 divided by 2 is 7. 40 divided by 2 is 20. And look, this is the same answer that we got when we found the common denominator of 20. But if you just chose 40, you would see that you have to simplify at the end. All right? So what I want you to do, there is a little assignment located in your Google Classroom where you're going to have to find the common denominators and add them together. All right? So complete that after you finish watching this Edpuzzle. Use your notes to help you complete these, all right? And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask. Have a wonderful day, 5th